This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 858. Become wealthy by having a high income in a low-cost city, by ESI of ESImoney.com. And I am Dan. I'm your host here at Optimal Finance Daily, where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And before we get to it, thank you to Fundrise for their support. Fundrise enables you to instantly access high-quality, high-potential private market real estate projects from high-rises in D.C. to multifamily apartments in L.A. And each real estate project is carefully vetted and actively managed by Fundrise's team of real estate pros. Fundrise is the future of real estate investing. Visit fundrise.com/OFD. That's fundrise.com/OFD to get your first 3 months of fees waived. And I've got a new author and new website today. The site is esimoney.com. He goes by ESI and is a 50-something retiree. Now, the site is well known in the personal finance world, so we are super excited to get his permission to read the content to you. And if you visit the site, he actually has a free ebook on how to become financially independent that is worth checking out. We've got the site linked in this episode's description. So with that, let's hear our first post from ESI and start optimizing your life. Become wealthy by having a high income in a low-cost city, by ESI of ESImoney.com. I have seen tons of articles over the years about the financial impact of where you live. I've even written some of them myself. Today I'd like to tackle the issue of your home location's impact on your finances. The result can be pretty substantial. The different philosophies. There are many different philosophies on why people live where they live when it relates to finances. The two main ones are, 1. Live in an inexpensive place and save a ton of money in expenses. These people know that living in Davenport, Iowa is much cheaper than living in New York City, so they choose the former to keep costs as low as possible. 2. Live in an expensive place because you can make more money here. These people assert, and there is some data to back them up, that more expensive cities command higher salaries, and thus you should live there to make more. By the way, I'm only addressing financial issues of living where you do. There are many non-financial reasons to live in a place, such as to be close to family, to be near certain recreational activities, to provide a certain lifestyle for your family, etc. I'm not addressing those in this piece. My thoughts. Here's my take on the issue. 1. It's not great to live in a low-cost city and make a low salary. 2. It's not great to live in a high-cost city and make more, but still be no better off. Whether you are better off or not is a subject of debate. And 3, the big money is living in a low-cost area and having a high salary. It's here you can make a fortune. Duh, tell us something we don't know, right? But that's impossible. That's what you're probably thinking right now. Why is this? Because there's an underlying assumption that you can't earn a great salary in a lower cost of living area. This bias is even inherent in the philosophies I just mentioned. But I'm here to tell you that's not the case. You just need to follow the right steps. How to make this happen. Here are the key steps to living in a low-cost city with a high salary. 1. You must be flexible on where you live. If you can choose from many different cities, there's a good chance you'll find a great job in a low-cost market. If you limit yourself to just a handful of cities, you also limit your job prospects. Key to this is you can't be too picky with cities. No, St. Louis does not have everything New York City has, but it has a lot. And by the way, lots of those things NYC has are not things you want anyway. 2. You need to develop your career in an industry or field that's in demand. This gives you the best chance for a good salary. 3. You need to market and grow your career. It's vital and the reason I write about careers so much here at ESI Money. 4. You need to manage your career. You may have to start your career in a specific area or city, and that may be a higher cost of living location. But if you manage your career properly, you can eventually transition to more affordable locations. Especially these days, you can work from almost anywhere. If you build your reputation and network properly, you can be a tech worker in Kansas City for a firm in San Francisco. The difference it makes is huge. This probably goes without saying, but the savings difference between some cities is enormous. For instance, let's say you make $100,000 in Kansas City. If you move to San Francisco, you need to make $183,316. If you can't do that, if you still make $100K in San Francisco, that's really going to eat into your ability to save, right? Looked at the other way, if you make $100K in San Francisco, you can live the same lifestyle in Kansas City for $54,551. Imagine how your bank account would benefit from an extra $45,000 plus each year for 20 or 30 years. And it gets even better, or worse, depending on how you look at it, as you make more. If you make $200K in San Francisco, you can live the same lifestyle in Kansas City for under $110,000. That's an extra $90,899 each year. See the advantages of a high income in a low cost of living city? What I did. I'm not saying that I'm the best example of how to do this, but I am an example. And if I can do it, others certainly can and probably do it better. Here's what I did with the tips I just laid out. 1. I was flexible in where to live. My family was from a small town in Iowa where absolutely nothing was going on for me job-wise. That said, I could have limited the cities I would consider to only those close to my hometown, but I did not. Other than the far west and far east, I was open to living in almost any city in the U.S. Of course, I had the benefit that any city I would move to would have way more to do, see, etc. than where I grew up. 2. I got an MBA, business is popular, flexible, and has high income potential, with an emphasis in marketing, also popular, also flexible, and has high income potential. 3. I worked to grow my career. My results. I started out well because of the MBA. I left school with an above-average salary, and in the 25 years since then, I've grown my salary at a much faster rate than the average population. As I managed my career and considered new job opportunities, I always factored in the costs of a city when I received a job offer. Of course, it was not the only factor that led me to take one job over another, but it certainly was a factor in the decision. Just so you can see how this played out, here are the cities I've lived in and their cost of living index. On this scale, 100 equals the average U.S. city cost. Cincinnati, 93.8. Pittsburgh, 91.5. Nashville, 88.9. Grand Rapids, 90.7. Oklahoma City, 91.7. And Colorado Springs, 92.8. Overall, most people do not live in a city because it's cheaper than another city. I get that. There are usually way more important issues that dictate where people live. All I'm saying here is that where you live has a very big impact on your finances. At the very least, you should consider a city's cost of living index before you move there. And if possible, take it a step further. Develop a high income while moving to a lower cost of living city. Doing so could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your working career. You just listened to the post titled Become Wealthy by Having a High Income in a Low-Cost City by ESI of ESImoney.com. Thank you again to Fundrise for their support. Come by fundrise.com/OFD to have your first 3 months free. Private market real estate has historically provided excellent ongoing cash flow even as it supports long-term growth. Private market assets like these are a strategy for diversifying beyond public market investments and even other kinds of real estate, like publicly traded REITs. And Fundrise is the future of real estate investing. The platform's innovations power an investor-first model by eliminating the bloated costs and middlemen that have traditionally weighed down real estate investing, saving investors time and money. That's why it's frequently mentioned as a recommended tool in the blogs I narrate here. Unparalleled transparency and real-time reporting let you see how the development of specific properties impact your overall portfolio. So come check it out. Visit fundrise.com/OFD. That's fundrise.com/OFD to have your first 3 months of fees waived. And thank you again to ESI for giving us permission to read his content, and definitely come by the site to show your support and to grab the free ebook. And I'll be bringing you more posts from him in the near future. But that's a wrap for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back with you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.